This video is all about worries. Now, worries are normal. Everybody has worries about some things. But an important thing for us to understand is that a worry is a thought. A worry is not a physical thing that exists. And when we feel really worried about something, it kind of tricks our body into reacting. So if we worry about something really bad happening, our body kind of believes that it's happening, and that's why it gives us those interesting, difficult feelings. So if we're really worried that something sad will happen, worrying makes us feel so sad. It's as if that thing is happening. If we worry about something happening which would make us really angry, our body reacts as if we're angry, so we might feel our heart beating really fast, we might feel our knuckles starting to clench, we might feel different in our bodies. So understanding our own emotions, understanding our worries is a really, really valuable and important thing to do, because it means that we don't catastrophize. Now I'll explain what catastrophize means. You might have heard of a catastrophe. A catastrophe is when something awful happens. Sometimes with our brains, we catastrophize, which means we think about something happening and we always think that the very, very worst thing will happen. That's called catastrophizing. So as we say then, worries are normal, but they can stop us from doing the things that we would like to do in our lives because they can become really incapacitating. Let me give you an example then. So let's say I've seen that there is an audition at school if you want to be in a school play. Now I've never been in a school play before, but I really enjoy these kind of things, so I would like to give it a go. And I think about the audition, but then I start worrying. So I'm thinking, what if I went for this audition and then I forgot my words? And then maybe I'd get really flustered and my face would start to get red. I'd feel really hot and embarrassed. And then maybe I'd trip and fall. And maybe everyone would start laughing. And then maybe someone would have their phone out and they'd record me falling off the stage. Someone would get passed around school and everyone would see it. It becomes a meme. I'm not going to do it. I don't want that to happen. Sometimes catastrophizing is like that. From one small thing, you just build bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, and suddenly you've got this crazy idea in your head, but you need to stop and think, hang on a minute, is this actually likely to happen? What's really going to happen? What's likely? Is it likely that I'm going to get my words wrong, everybody starts laughing, I fall off the stage, somebody photographs me? No, of course not. So what I can do is think, let's be realistic here. It's probably not going to be like that, is it? If 0% means that's definitely not going to happen, and if 100% means all of that horrific stuff definitely is going to happen, we're probably going all the way back down the chart. We're probably going to be about 0%. It's not likely that there's going to be memes of me falling off a stage. It's not likely the whole audience will laugh. It's not likely that I'll get all of it wrong. I mean, I know that for this audition, I might work really hard to practice my lines. I know people who are going there, they're not mean people, they're not going to laugh at me. Actually, chances are it's probably going to be okay. And whether I got the part or not, all of this bad stuff I was imagining is pretty unrealistic. So I know that I don't need to let my fear of this crazy bad event happening stop me from taking this opportunity to go for the audition. I've stopped myself from catastrophizing. So one of the things we can do as well is we can talk to people who we trust. And when we talk about those worries, it can help to put them into perspective. For one thing, we might have had a worry that's grown and grown and grown until it becomes something that's hard to talk about. But when we do start to talk about it, it might be the first time that we've heard that worry out loud. And suddenly, as we've said those words, we start to think of it a little bit differently. If I'm saying to somebody else, when I go to secondary school, my worry is I'm not going to make any friends, I'm going to be completely alone and live in silence for years of my life, you realise that actually that's not going to happen. By saying it aloud, you can look objectively at what you were thinking and be able to realise that actually that's not really going to happen, is it? I've gone a bit over the top there. So sometimes it's paying attention to our thoughts, and we can do that by listening to what we're saying, but sometimes it's the reaction that we get from other people. If you've spoken to someone who you care about and someone who's listened to you, and they say to you, mate, I don't know what you're saying that for, like, I'm your friend, you've got loads of friends back at school, you've never struggled before. Suddenly, the voices of other people can help support you in grounding yourself and having a bit of a reality check, and that can also help us to calm our worries down. Worries exist then in our head, and sometimes when those worries grow to become a problem for us, and they can make us feel bad, they make us feel breathless, we start to feel anxious, Some of the things that we can do are all about focusing back on the moment, focusing back on the physical, so that we go away from what's in our head and into what's going on in our bodies. That allows us to step away from those growing worries. So there's 3 things that I might suggest that we could do, which might work for you. One of them is about grounding. It's about really feeling where you are. Feel the weight of your body as your feet touch the floor. Feel the weight of your body on the chair. Just doing that kind of focuses you on where you are right now in reality, rather than in those growing worries which you might have been feeling in your head. Another thing which might work for you is about focusing on your breathing. Sometimes when we know we are starting to panic and we're starting to feel worried, you notice those changes in your breath and in your heart rate and things like that. Sometimes just pausing and noticing your breathing and trying to get a bit of control over it is all that you need to do to start quashing those worries before they grow anymore. That might be just taking 1 deep breath in and 1 deep breath out. Just making these small little changes can really change the way that you feel in your body in that moment, and in turn that can stop you feeling the way that you're feeling in your mind. Now, one final suggestion, if it's possible for you to do so, you can't underestimate the power of a glass of water. Sometimes just having a quick drink allows you to just refresh yourself, recenter yourself in where you are, and recenter your thinking and what you're doing. So, to give a final recap, worries are thoughts that are in our head, and if our worries grow and grow and grow, it becomes a problem. But we can do things to stop that from happening. We can remember that our worries are just thoughts, we can recognise when our worries are unlikely and they don't make sense, and we can speak to other people about those worries in a way that makes us feel better about them.